What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Isaiah Smith, and I want to say welcome to Insights with Isaiah show. We got a great show planned for you all. It's going to be amazing. Are y'all ready to get into the show, though? Let's get into it. First up, we got insightful quotes. So, y'all, I usually do a quote from my phone. As I shared with y'all previously, I usually write a lot of things in my phone in the notes app on my phone. Anytime somebody says something that resonates with me, I write it down, but I decided to do something different. So here's the quote for this show. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. And that's by Mark Twain. Mark Twain is an author who died some years ago. He wrote a lot of poems. A lot of people still read his books, and he's very inspirational. And I think that's true that you do have to get started in order to get ahead, because how can you see progress if you don't get started? And you know what I've learned? A lot of people, they have visions, they have dreams, they have goals, they have things that they want to start, but they're hesitant to do it. Maybe you want to do a YouTube channel, but you don't have all the equipment. Start today, and as you go along, things will develop and you will get what you need. I'm a believer that God is the supplier of all needs. And if he's the supplier of all needs, it's best to get started. Is that all right with y'all? Y'all ready for the next segment? Let's get into Isaiah's insights. Now, y'all know I love funny church videos. And I was watching this one video recently where this preacher, she was in the pulpit. So a pulpit is essentially a stage, but that's the name they call it in churches. She's on the pulpit and she points out this lady who is wearing this green dress. And she said, "You in the green dress, just give God a praise for whatever reason." She said, "I need you to start dancing." Now, in churches where predominantly black congregations are, there's this form of praise where you dance, and it's called, you dance to a praise break, which is like fast music. You go up and down like this, right? So she says, "I need you to just start dancing for what God is about to do." I want y'all to take a look at this video.
Dance for about 30 seconds. You right here. Let's do a dance for about 30
Oh, wasn't that funny, y'all? So as y'all saw, the lady, instead of dancing, she started running and she ran out the door. And as you can hear the lady on the mic say, "Go get her," y'all. That was funny to me. I mean, don't you just love church videos? It was funny to me. If you don't know, I love to run in church, so I can relate. But I thought it was funny how the lady told her to start dancing, but she started running. Isn't that funny, y'all? But are y'all enjoying the show so far? I'm glad y'all are. When we come back, I'll introduce my guests and they'll be right here with me. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. My guest is a senior at Winston-Salem State University. He's an accounting major. He has his own financial coaching business. He's from Detroit, Michigan. Please welcome to the show my guest, Simmons.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing?
Good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Great to hear that.
I'm glad to have you on the show, man.
Me too, man. Thanks for having me.
So I understand you're a senior.
Mm-hmm.
And you told me before the show that you graduate in the fall. How you feeling?
Feeling great. Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Yes, sir.
I understand you're an accounting major.
Yes.
What sparked your interest to be an accounting major?
Well, before I came to college, I had my first accounting internship in Concord, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And before I even got into accounting, this was my first step into the financial industry. Mm-hmm. The VP of finance of the company took me under his wing and gave me a shot.
Wow.
So that's why I'm a accounting major today.
What was the name of the company that you interned at?
The company called Avanti Health Solutions. Okay. It's a medical device company. As an intern, I did everything. I helped out wherever I can. I was a part of the asset management, doing fixed asset. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
That's awesome. Shout out the VP's name.
Woo, well, I don't think I could do that.
Okay, got you. But I know you got your own financial coaching business.
Yes.
How did that get started? When did you start it? And what inspired that?
Okay, so it all started when I was trading.
Okay.
By the way, folks, I'm an options trader. So I trade option contracts, stock market guy, right? I trade bonds, all types of stuff. So I had this celebrity stylist who did Fatage's hair.
Nice.
And he gave me a shot. He was like, "Can you manage some of my money?" So that's how I got into the financial coaching side. But that's more of the asset management side. Okay. So when I started to do that, starting to, help him out, making good returns, keeping his portfolio, rebalanced and steady, right? When I came to college, that's when I started to see there was a financial need. A lot of students, a lot of people here, and older adults, younger people, they need financial literacy. Right. Especially in the community, a Black community, I feel as if I need to build a financial institution to help Black people who look like me and you. Yeah. So that's how it got started, really.
Nice. Now, do you get a lot of Black clientele?
Yes.
Okay.
I get a lot of Black clientele. Right now I am about to work with a project right now. I'm also a Black person. Nice. But yeah, most of my clients are Black because I'm trying to stay within that niche, right? The Black community. Right. Trying to help them out, help out small businesses, help out anybody who need financial literacy.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you're a college student.
Yes.
And you have your own financial coaching business. How do you manage being a student and running your own business at the same time?
Good question. I would say building a strong team, professors, faculty, having a great relationship with them and letting them know what you're doing. Right. Letting them know, hey, I might not make it to class because I got this opportunity that I'm working on. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, when they see that you're putting in work, they're going to help you out. Right. So for me, building those relationships with, the professors, the accounting professors, finance professors, doing things to help them out. Yeah. Being a great student, showing up on time, talking to them, even talking to the professors afterwards goes a long way.
Right. I think having those relationships are very important because I realize with us both being students in college, both being seniors in college, we understand the importance of talking to our professors, engaging with them. And I know there are still some students who have yet to gain that. So talk about what doors that can open up for potentially internships or different opportunities.
Great that you brought that up. So accounting is the language of business. Without accounting, you don't have a business. Right. Governments run off accountants. Accounting is that industry. When in doubt, you always gonna have a job. Yeah. Whether it's media, whether it's corporate America, whether it's government, you're gonna always have a job. Now, students who trying to get into accounting, the internships goes. You have a lot of opportunity in accounting. As of now, recently, there's a shortage going on with accountants. Really, a lot of accountants are retiring, but not a lot of accountants are coming into the field. Gotcha. So there's a real accounting shortage. Where also in Ohio, they are rolling back the requirements to sit for your CPA, which is your certified public accounting license. And the only thing you need now is almost a bachelor's degree. Wow. To sit for instead of having 150 credit hours. Wow. So
do y'all hear this? I think y'all might want to be an accountant. And truth be told, I started off at Norfolk State University as a business entrepreneurship major. And I was there a year due to COVID. I transferred to a community college in Detroit called Wayne County Community College. Gotcha. And during there, it was business administration. So they didn't call it entrepreneurship. And I had a professor, she was teaching principles of accounting too. And I love the way she taught the class. And I said, okay, I want to change my major to accounting. Right. I took all the accounting classes. I got to one accounting class called computerized accounting software. I'll never forget, Dre. We had to do the balance sheet, income statement, and statement of cash flows. And I learned in accounting, when your debits and your credits don't match, you have to go back and find where your mistake was. Correct. Man, I did that. And I had a hard time finding it. It was by saving grace that I passed her class. And so I figured out I didn't want to be an accountant anymore, which I realized like, okay, being a mass comm major, I love it, but I'm quite sure I could still use those skills one day. Talk about how important it is to have accounting skills, even if you aren't interested in being an accountant.
Yeah, having accounting skills goes for all entrepreneurs, like yourself. You're in media. You need accounting. You need accounting skills.
Yeah.
Reason being is you don't want to be that guy who relies too much on the accounting practice for your business.
Yeah.
The business is your baby. This is what you're trying to dedicate your career to, is your entrepreneurship endeavors, right? You want to have a little bit of knowledge in accounting because you do not want somebody else to have full knowledge of your own business.
Have you ever seen that play out before?
Yes. There's a lot of people who take advantage. Let's take Steve Harvey, for example. His accountant stole millions of dollars from him without even knowing.
Wow.
So having that due diligence on having the basics of your own financial literacy, your own accounting system set up, what that you understand.
Right.
So nobody can pull a wool over your eyes.
Now, I understand with your financial coaching business that you coach middle-level career-driven people. Explain what middle-level career-driven people are.
Us. 25 years old, just graduated college, got a $50K salary job. You call that middle class, right? Right. So $60K, whatever. People who are getting out of college who are doctors, or people coming out who or going to corporate America, or people coming out and going into media.
Right.
These are the people I target. Reason being is these are the people who spend a lot. Consumer spending is out the roof in America.
Right.
These are the people who take out massive credit cards. And these are the people who have student loans and don't know how to repay it and repay it faster.
Right.
So giving them the tools to succeed and stopping it when it's younger is going to help them live better in their future.
That's awesome. Are y'all enjoying Dre so far? Isn't he awesome? I want to switch gears here. Now, I understand that you've been taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I hope I said that right. And what's it been for 6 months now?
About, yep.
Talk to me. How did you get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, I got into it because I wanted something to challenge me physically.
Okay.
I went to the gym. I did things like that, but I always wanted to, have that camaraderie too. And finding a art such as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'm having the same class with the same people. Okay. I'm building those bonds with those people. We are training ourselves for self-defense. We're training ourselves to be more agile, be more coordinated.
Right.
Especially in my profession, accounting and finance, you want to be agile. You want to be able to stay ahead.
Yeah.
And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu allow me to predict, allow me to hone in my skills and use that in my workplace.
I think that's awesome because I realize what you do in one area can often help you in another area. What are some areas you've seen you applying Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tactics help you in other areas of your life? Okay.
So for example, right, back to my business, being ahead of the competition, knowing what the other people are doing, understanding what your competitors are doing, how to make it better. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, one move, you can lose the whole fight.
Right.
You can lose the whole match. You have to think. You have to think when you're on the ground while he's on top of you.
Yeah.
You have to think on what's the next move.
Right.
So within business, you always got to think. You always got to think ahead because your competitors are working 10 times harder than you. And how can you use that skill and benefit from it?
I think that's awesome. I think that's something we could all use a little bit more. What would you say to that person that's trying to do what you're doing and they're struggling with figuring out the next move? I know you mentioned thinking steps ahead, but how can someone think steps ahead when doing what they're doing?
I would say create a plan. Create a vision board. Create a step-by-step guide. Create something that's small, incremental steps. That can be, hey, let me go ahead and create this website today. Hey, let me go ahead and post a video. Hey, let me go ahead and contact this person that don't know me. Hey, let me LinkedIn connect with this person and ask them, hey, do you know anybody in your field that can help me out? Taking baby steps is going to massively help you get the right people, get the right connections, and ultimately get the right clients.
That's awesome. Can we give it up for Dre? He's been great. I want to touch on this right quick. Now, you were born in Detroit.
Okay. Yep.
And you moved to Charlotte at the age of 5. Talk to me about the difference between being in Charlotte all this time versus when you were a little boy in Detroit.
Yeah. Massive difference. I would say the South is a little different.
Yeah.
But I would say I grew to love Charlotte. I grew, in and out of Detroit, going to see my father, going to see my grandmother and stuff like that.
Right.
So my family on our side had a different mentality of thinking, and me just coming here and having a different way of thinking changed my trajectory where I'm trying to also raise money to see if I can start building the communities back up in Detroit. Whereas it went a bankrupt city. Right. It's on the upcoming now.
It is.
But I'm trying to get in, buy those properties where it ran down, renovate them, and give it back to the community that ultimately I came from.
I think that's awesome. Well, thank you, Dre, for being so much on my show, man. Can y'all give it up for Dre? Thank you, man. We'll be right back, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Have y'all enjoyed today's show? I always enjoy doing these shows. It brings me so much joy. I want to leave you all with this. Do whatever brings you joy. Don't worry about what others think about you. Don't worry about what others say, because you're always going to have haters. But here's the thing. As long as you're doing what God has told you to do, that's the main thing. I love y'all. Stay insightful, and we'll see y'all next time.
1, 2,